Hi everybody, how you doing? Jason here, the CEO of FastBots. Just let me know, please, guys, if you wouldn't mind in chat that you can hear me okay. We quite often have technical issues with these webinars, as I'm sure you've had before in other webinars. So just let me know in chat that you can hear me okay, and then I can get started. And we're going to have a good session together today, all about chatbots. Brilliant. Okay. Shai says okay. Narendra, welcome. Ebby, how you doing? Jonathan, good. It's working. That's always a good start on this lovely day. If you're in the UK, it is a beautiful day today, hottest day of the year. So that is always good. Brilliant. Hi, Regina. How you doing? Nicola says loud and clear. So guys, if you've got any questions, the place to ask them is in the chat there. You'll see there's Q&A. And you can just ask your questions in there. If you just want general chit chat or comments about anything that we're going through, then you just use the chat. It comes straight through to me and I can see it. Obviously, I'll have a little look over as we're going through this pretty informal training session. So that's what we'll do there. You can ask your questions and you can generally chat in the chat area. And then the first thing I'm going to do actually is run a real quick poll with you guys. And let's see how many of you at the moment have a FastBots account. It doesn't matter if it's a paid plan. It can be a free chatbot. I don't mind at all. Just need to know if you're using the platform or not already. So that gives me an idea of, how many of you are actually involved and you know a little bit about the platform already. So looks to me like the majority are yeses, which is cool because, I did email everybody who was on the list of already having joined. So maybe some of you guys just signed up for an account, but then didn't actually use it, which happens occasionally. And perhaps by the end of this presentation, you're going to want to use it because chatbots can do so much for your business and so much for your website and everything to keep people engaged that it becomes a very, very valuable tool. And for very little money per month, even if you're on a paid plan, for what it does. So, okay, I'll end the poll there. It has ended at 85% of you have a FastBots account and 15% of you say not yet. So that's very interesting. And I'm actually going to run a second poll. So let me just run this second one now. And this is for those of you that have got a FastBots account. How many of you have actually added the chatbot to your website now? Because you might have an account, you might have had a play around, but did you go as far as actually putting it on your website and making it work for you? I'm very interested to know. Now this is a different story, you see. So we've got the yeses at 30% at the moment. About 65% of you have said you haven't put it on your site yet. And quite often that's because you get to that point of putting the chatbot on your website and you're thinking, "Ooh, this looks a bit complicated. We've got to deal with some code now, and we're not really sure how to get into our website because we signed up for our website about a year ago and we forgot the password of how to log into it and silly little things like that." But all of these things can be dealt with, and our support team, by the way, can help you install that chatbot on your website. If you've got a web designer that you usually use, all you've got to do is just send them the code and just say, put that in the header. That is it. Then you're going to get your chatbot live on your website. So the poll has ended with 41% of you have got it on your site and 58% of you say not yet. So we have got to get that sorted out. Definitely. Again, ask your questions in the Q&A section. There is a Q&A section where you can, I'll see if I can put a little message in. There you go. So you might be able to see that come up. That is where you ask your questions. If you've got one in there, that'd be brilliant. Okay, so let's first of all just do the very basics. And then I'm going to talk to you about new features that we've got coming out. A little teeny weeny one we've added today at the request of one of our users. And then we're going to build a different kind of chatbot, because our chatbots don't necessarily just use your website for content or documents. We can connect the chatbot and make it an interactive AI agent, which is pretty much the buzzword of 2025, AI agents. And that is where your chatbot will go and do something dynamic. It will go and look up a live order, perhaps from a Google Sheet, which I'm going to show you in a bit, and how you can do that. And it can connect to other apps. In fact, we can connect FastBots to 7,000 other apps out there that you're probably already using. And you can have your chatbot do some of the work instead of humans. So there's a lot of things that you can do with this. Brilliant. So we've got the questions coming in now. That is awesome. Lots of different ones. Yeah, Narendra, I'll tell you about that a bit later on. Narendra was asking about the white label. I'll tell you about that in a little bit. So first of all then, guys, let's just get stuck in here. And we're going to create a new chatbot. I just did a quick Google search a minute ago, and I was just having a little look at some of these hairdresser websites here in London. I found, I think it was this one. Yeah, this one here looks pretty flash. It's got content on there. That's important. We need like the written content on there. And then we would take that now. If this was your business, this is all you need to do. We'll call it Daniel, what is it called? Daniel Galvin. There we go. And then the first thing that we would do is obviously we need to give the chatbot some information about the business. The quickest, easiest way to do that is to put your web address in like this and press start. And then it will go round the website. Now, most websites are put together in the same way, and they're really quite easy to get the content from, like you can see there. In literally seconds, it's found 20 web pages. Oh, and now it's shot up to 102. So it'll just literally go around the whole of the website. Occasionally, you find websites that are tricky and they have firewalls on and things like that to block crawlers like ours, like Google, like OpenAI from going around the website. Then you also find websites that are made with JavaScript, which is where basically the page is not there until it's fully loaded and it comes in sort of a second or two later. And that is also very difficult for crawlers to get hold of. However, we have got the most advanced web crawler of any chatbot platform that costs a fortune to build, a lot of months of work. It's still not over yet. And it will be able to go and get the content from pretty much any website out there. You can see this site here. Already it's managed to go and get 708 pages from this site. So who would have thought this was a 708 page site? Looking at it, it looks pretty slim pickings, but I suspect that they've probably got a blog on here and an absolute ton. Oh, here we go. Yeah. So there's like loads of pages, prices and everything. I mean, imagine that, and this is why chatbots are so valuable, everyone. Imagine that you are looking for a hairdressers in Westminster, London. You come to this site, you want to know something about, who is their team members, for example? Who do they have? Who can cut my hair? So you've got to kind of go around and look at the menu and try and find everything. And, oh, hang on. Oh, there it is. There it is. And, do it like that. But wouldn't it be just so much easier if you literally could just click a button down here and say, who is your junior stylists? Bang. Here's a list of them all here. And that's why chatbots are so good. They save people having to surf around the site and look and see what all the services do, all they have. So, for example, if I wanted to know what could I actually have done with this hairdressers? Well, looking here again, we've got hair extensions and stuff, but I'll bet you there's loads of sub niches of hair extensions and different things that you can do. So having that chatbot there to answer questions straight away, get to the point, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week is going to be a game changer. And it keeps people on the site instead of, oh, do you know what? This site is so massive, I can't even find what I'm looking for. That's it. I'm going to press the back button. I'm gone. And that does happen all the time. You've got very few seconds to make sure that somebody gets the information they need from your website or they are gone. Next. So we can stop them in their tracks by giving them a way to get the information they need real quick with one of our chatbots. So this must be like the biggest site on the planet, a hairdresser site. But either way, I can take these 1,659 pages that we found already now and just click add for training. And then that goes into our system here. And gradually our system will go and read all the content of those pages and then start giving it to the chatbot. Now the chatbot can answer questions about any of that content. So that is how the chatbot works. And if I refresh the page, you can see it's already done 12 pages, read everything about it, and indexed it up. And yeah, I mean, it's very, very powerful. Now, appearance-wise, this website here obviously is quite a nice looking website. It would be a shame to go and put some garish looking chatbot window on there. So we can style this up. We can change the title here like this. We can go and change the color of the chatbot. So if their website sort of has this nice gray color here, we can easily match that up. Let's just put that there like that. There you go. Maybe make it a little lighter. And we can do the same for all the buttons and everything so that it just looks nicer. We can change this icon here as well to make it look ideal. And as of today, you can even change the little tiny dots that are used while the chatbot is thinking, because we had a client that said, I need that changing. I cannot stand the blue little dots that were bouncing up and down when he had like a red colored background or something. So we do listen to our customers and we make changes extremely quickly where we can and where it makes sense. Then we can also choose like a sound as well if we want to, like this, when the chatbot is on the page. And there's lots of different ones you can use. And then once we're happy, we can just click save. And now we've got our customized chatbot. Now there's lots of other things that you can do as well. You can add like a little pop-up message too. We can add suggestions. So if I was to put in there, hairstylists like that, then I could put a new line that was like team members and then map and things like that. You can put it all in there. Why? Because it just makes it so much quicker for people to do that. So for example, one of our other chatbots that we've got for a client is a school. And the first thing that everybody wants to know is the term dates so they can plan their holidays. So we've put term dates there for the school and it gets pressed all the time. And then, yeah, you can literally just click that button there and then it will answer the question. And that's it. So let's just nip back over to here. Yep, we can see we've got all of these different pages there. Look, they've obviously got products as well by the look of it. Some Sacred Skin hand and body lotion just here. Here's the page so we can see what the actual page looks like there like that. So if I was to go now, I can tune the chatbot. Now this section here looks a bit complicated and scary, but it's really not. These are all of the different AI models. What does that mean? It just means the different AI kind of technologies from the different companies. This one is probably the best known, which is ChatGPT's GPT-4o. And then we've got Anthropic's Claude models, and then we've got Google's models as well. So competition is great because if one company has a problem, in the rare event that their AI model goes down for an hour or so, then it's no problem. We can just pick another company's. And I'm going to pick GPT-4o in this instance. And then I will leave this at 0. And then just here, we can change the role of the chatbot. Now we've got templates here. So there's lots of different templates. We've got ones for like human resources, tech support, fitness centers, insurance. And if you're unsure, you can kind of pick the one that fits your business the best, and then you can just alter it. So think of this here as the instructions you would give to an employee who was using live chat, for example. So you would tell them, look, if somebody asks this, do that. If somebody says, you know, what hairstylist do you have, just give them a link to the page on our site with the stylist. But we can let AI do a lot of the thinking for us because it's very, very intelligent, which is the whole reason why everybody's so excited about this technology. So I'm just adjusting the little instructions there as well. And I'm going to put now, you are a customer service chatbot for Daniel Galvin. Okay, so that's the name of the hairdressers there. And then it just says your primary role is to assist customers by answering questions related to product services. We don't need shipping. Actually, we do need shipping and returns because you can buy their products online. And then payment options. And then when asked about those details, please respond from the information. The information is what we just uploaded from the website there. And then we've got some protection in there as well, so that people can't just go and ask stupid questions to the chatbot, which just wastes everybody's time. So, for example, it says there, stay focused. If users try to divert the conversation to unrelated topics, politely redirect them to the queries relevant to customer services and sales. And then what happens if the chatbot does not know the answer? This is obviously a concern for a lot of people. They're like, okay, well, I'm going to look stupid if it doesn't know the answer. Don't worry. What you can do is you can just put in what we call a fallback answer. And in this case, it says, apologies, I don't have that information. Please contact our support team. So we would adjust that. And then we would put like the phone number or whatever of this company. So I don't know if they have it here. Here we go. They've got lots of different salons. So there'll be different details for each salon. So I would just put like, I'd grab those details from the site like this, and then just go back to our chatbot and then just put it in there like that. There you go. And then just save it. And now that's a custom prompt. We can call it whatever we want, add it, and that's now saved and available for you to choose at a later date if you want to switch them around. So there's the instructions on what the chatbot should do. And we've kind of told it who it is. It's acting on behalf of Daniel Galvin in this case. And then if we go to our overview, it is now ready to test. So I can say now, for example, because I know we saw it was indexed already, do you have a body lotion? And then it should be able to look through that data. And there it is. Yes, we have the Louise Galvin Sacred Skin Hand and Body Lotion available. It's priced at £30 for a 300 ml bottle. So really quick, very easy. Did a great job of answering that question. And then now all of the conversations are recorded right here like this. And then we can have these translated if somebody has used a different language when they were asking their question. And then we can configure these emails so that that chat gets automatically sent through to you or your team. So you can action on it straight away if you wanted to. And then any questions that are not actually answered by the chatbot, depending on your plan, will automatically appear here. And then you can go ahead and answer the question properly. So if we pop over to our chatbot, for example, now I'm doing this live, so goodness knows what questions we've got lined up here, but they'll be in draft here. So here's somebody trying to mess around with the chatbot, for example, write Python code in Tetris. So they're trying to use the chatbot, which they'll do with us. They won't really do it with your chatbots because they're not those kind of people. They're your customers. With us, they're tech people, the AI enthusiasts. They're all trying out the chatbot and seeing if they can play with it a little bit here. So it's saying write Python code. And we've just said, apologies, I'm not sure about that. Head over to support for help from our team. And very, very, very quickly, people who do that kind of thing get super bored and then they just move on because they can't get it to do anything that they want it to. So there's protection in there as well. Now, for those of you that have not got your chatbot yet installed on your website, it is super, super easy. This code here, where it says add to a website, is the code that you need to add to what's called the header of a site. And you don't really need to know that. All you need to do is just copy the code and then send it to your web guy and say, put that in the header, please. It's my chatbot. And that's it. You never have to do it again. And then it will be live on the chatbot. For example, again, like at FastBots here, you will see it down the bottom right. There it is. That's how it will appear on your website, all in just a couple of seconds. Now, it doesn't matter what website you've got. This can go on it. So it'll go on a WordPress website, a Wix website, GoDaddy, Shopify. It doesn't matter. Drupal, Joomla. There's so many different websites out there, but it will definitely be able to be installed on any website, and then it will start working for you. And then you'll start seeing conversations coming through, and it keeps people on your site, like I said. So that's how you can build a chatbot. I think that is kind of the basic chatbot. There's ways that you can add more data, of course. So without a doubt, you can just click this button here. Anytime you've got something else you want to add to its knowledge base, you just click add, and you can go and add another website if you want, and another website. For example, we did the University of Miami, and they had about 15 different websites that made up the data. So we just kept putting them in, and then we'll pull in that information and make the complete chatbot. You can add PDF links, Word docs, Excel, even YouTube videos can be just added straight on in to here. You just put the URL of the video, press start, bang, we'll get the whole transcript and put it into the chatbot's memory. Right here, we can drag and drop any files we've got on our computer. Again, in those same formats, PDF, Word doc, Excel, just drop them in here, and then the chatbot will read through it. Very, very simple system, which is one of the things that people often remark about with FastBots is the simplicity of it. It's pretty straightforward. There's really no complicated features here, and it's designed to, do the job very quickly and easily. All your stats will be right here. So you'll see how many messages it's sent, how much data you've used. Depending on your plan, you get different amounts of data. Even on our free plan, you get a fair bit of free data. And then any leads that are generated will come into here. And we've got people generating loads of leads every day. Now, if you want to start generating leads, there's a number of ways to do it, but the most simple is to go to your appearance tab, and just here it says lead collection. And then we've got control over this form here, and we can choose after how many messages of interacting with the person that the form is shown. Or we can actually make them fill out that form before they even start a chat with the chatbot, which is what a lot of companies do. They'll just say, fine, you can have a chat, but just put your name and email in here. And then it connects straight through to an AI agent effectively, which will do the job. You can choose if you don't want a message, phone number, all of that stuff. You've got control over what it says here. So, if you want to change that up a little bit, that's absolutely fine. And then all of the leads that come through will just start appearing over here. So if I do that now, here you go. I want to talk to the chatbot. I can't until I put in my details here like this, and then press submit. And then you can carry on. Now that message is incorrect, obviously, because what happens now is we can keep going. So then the lead will automatically appear right here. And there it is like that. And then this again can be automatically sent through to you or your team. As many emails as you want can receive that fresh lead right there. And then you can see the conversation that took place as well. So that gives you very useful information. If you're about to make a call to that person, you can see everything they said during that conversation. So your chatbots can be, really, really very useful for leads. You can see the data's updated, and you can also see where people are visiting your chatbot from around the world. Hi there, Brad. Loads of questions there. That's brilliant. No problem. We'll go through as many of those as we can as well. There's a ton of questions building up, which is great. I love to see that. It's all about interactivity. These training sessions, we're here to help you make the most of your chatbots and get them working for you. So that's the basics of creating a chatbot. Now, let me show you something a little bit more advanced. Now, some people have a requirement whereby they need to have more dynamic data. So, for example, with this chatbot right here, let's just get that through. There you go. We've got all of this data here, and it's kind of there. That's it. And we're going to use just that data. Now, we do have a feature, again, on some of our, I think it may be business plan and above, whereby you can automatically retrain the chatbot on those web pages as often as you need to. So if we click retrain the bot here, we can schedule the frequency of retraining between daily, weekly, and monthly. So say if you have a website and you're often updating the front page of your site or any pages that are listed here, then we can automatically revisit those pages, get the content again, and refresh your chatbot's mind, which is fantastic. However, some people tend to have their information kind of in spreadsheets or in live databases, in Google Drive and places like that. So what do you do with that? Well, we have a solution which is right down here in integrations. And it is Zapier AI Actions. Let me know in chat, have you heard of Zapier? Let me know if you've heard of Zapier before. They are a huge powerhouse way of connecting software to software online. So just put in chat if you've heard of Zapier before. I'm curious to know how many of you have heard of them, or if this is like, what on earth are you talking about? Who is Zapier? And it's absolutely fine. There's no wrong answers here, guys. No shame at all in not having heard of absolutely everything online. There's thousands of companies. Great. Rosa Brad says yes. Peter, Bill, Kim, loads of you have. So that's great. Well, Zapier has a free plan as well, by the way. So this doesn't need to cost you money, depending on how busy your site is. But we can connect up our chatbots to lots of different things. And I said to you earlier how you can connect to lots of different apps. We've got what we would call native integrations right here. So you can connect one chatbot, the same chatbot that answers questions on your website, can also be used with WhatsApp. If you have a WhatsApp business number, you can hook it up and then it will deal with all the inbound chats that come in on WhatsApp. Also your Facebook page. If you've got a business Facebook page and somebody decides to drop a message in there at 3 a.m., you can have your chatbot answer that, no problem. And even if somebody comments on one of your pages or your posts, you can get the chatbot to read their comment and reply to it for you in a really professional way. You can see here, you can switch that feature on and off for any pages that you are an admin for. So you can click reply to just comments if you want, or to messages alone. So there's some great options there. Same thing applies with Instagram. If you have a business Instagram page, don't worry, your chatbot can also go in there and reply to inbound messages. And some of you may not be familiar with Slack. Slack is like more of a business software, I would say, but extensively used. You can also connect your bot there. And then we have make.com, which is like a competitor to Zapier, because a lot of people like that too. And then Zapier itself. But Zapier AI Actions is what really can turn your bot into an interactive powerhouse. So if we go to this bot I made up earlier, I've just called it Dynamic Data Bot. Can everybody see that? I'm kind of covering it a bit, aren't I? Let me move myself down to the bottom right. There you go. Although that's probably not the best either, actually. Let me go down to the bottom left. There you go. Done. So now I'm not in the way of the chatbot window or the title. Now, what happens here is we've got this chatbot now integrated via Zapier AI Actions. So I have a free Zapier account and I've hooked it up. And now what I can do is I can add a ton of functionality to our chatbot. I'm giving it the ability to not just look in its own knowledge base that we've given it by giving it the website. Now we're giving it the option to go and connect to other software that you may use and get information from there. So it becomes a whole different animal right now. Now, here's the Google Sheets lookup action. So what we're doing here, I've chosen to this Zapier action, and I'm going to show you that there are thousands and thousands of different actions you can link up to. This particular one is designed to help the chatbot link to a Google Sheet, then go and check it for information, like you can ask questions about what's in the sheet and then return an answer, all naturally inside this chatbot. So if I just click on this window here, and then we go to My Actions, let's have a look, see if I can show you this, Edit Actions. Now this has come, that's a bit annoying because that's in a pop-up window. I'm not sure how I can share that window. Let me just try and do it right now. So I'll come off of here a moment, and I'm going to choose the little window that I'd like to share. And that's this one here. There we go. It's a bit massive, but at least you can see it. And then you can see it says add new action. There's mine. So I've got the Google Sheets lookup action. And if we click on it, you can see what it's saying. It's just saying, right, you're to look up what's in this sheet. Here's the sheet that I want you to look at. Here's my Google Drive. Here's the spreadsheet. Here's the exact worksheet within the spreadsheet. And then the rest of it are just simple settings to tell AI to go and look in it. But I can also add more. You can see there's another one there. I can even get your chatbot to send an email if I want. And it will write the whole email personalized to that person who's using the chatbot. Imagine that. Then I can also get it to look up orders and things in Shopify. The amount of things it can do is insane. So if I click add new action, there you go. You can type in like any software that's connected to Zapier, which is a lot. Like, for example, if I just pressed S, look at all these different things here, you know, there's tons and tons of different ones here. Some I've never even heard of, but there'll be pretty much all the big boys software, you know, like probably Salesforce is there. Let's take a look. Sales. Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff going on there, isn't there? Google, let's have a look at that. Yeah, Google Calendar as well, Google Docs. You know, there's just Google Slides. It can search through slides, Gmail, Google Drive, your entire drive, PDFs, basically anything. And what happens there then is you will just connect that ability straight up to your chatbot. And I'm going to show you now how that works actually by doing it. So over here now, we've connected up our chatbot to a Google Sheet. So that means I've got to tell it what to do, but that's dead easy. We do that here. Remember, I told you, just like you would train an employee, you're going to train your chatbot, but we don't have to use code, thankfully, because that'll be complicated. All we have to do is speak to it like a human. And I've put here, in fact, I've put badly here. There you go. When asked to look up an order, ask for the customer's email address first, then their order number. And when they provide them, search the Google Sheet and provide details of what they ordered and the total. Dead easy. Let's try it out. So if we go to the chatbot, this is where you can play around with your chatbot just here. Here is the spreadsheet that I've created. That's the one that we're linked to at the moment. And let's just pick somebody. We've got Jonathan Ross there. That's quite funny. Why not? Let's do Jonathan Ross. I'll just copy that. None of these emails are real, by the way. I'm not sharing any real data. In fact, another useful little tip for you, if you ever need any dummy data for anything, if you're doing things like I do, you can get ChatGPT to make it all up. So ChatGPT made up this entire spreadsheet for me with fake names, fake emails, fake purchases for the purpose of doing a demo. It's great because then you don't have to worry about data being given out. And then what we can do is we can now go to our chatbot and we can say, look up my order. It's probably going to say no because we haven't given it what it needs. And there you are. So it says, could you please provide your email address first? So there's my email address. Now I'm just going to not give it the order number and see what it does. Now it's going to say, I still need the order number, which is great. So let's go to our sheet. There's the order number right there. And now we'll go back and give it the order number as promised. And fingers crossed, what it will do now is you see how it's going, please wait there. What it's doing, it's connecting to Zapier Actions. And then from Zapier Actions to your spreadsheet. having a little look through that spreadsheet using the power of AI, and then coming back with the details right here. And there we are. Look at that. So Jonathan Ross, there's the order number, there's the order date, shipping date, total amount, ordered the product digital photo frame. Let's check on that, shall we? Let's have a look. Jonathan Ross, there it is, digital photo frame, and then order 8147, and there it is, 8147. So that's how you can connect your chatbot to live data. This is one of the biggest requested features that we've had. So it can do a lot more than just simply answer questions that from the information that we've given it here from documents. It can actually go straight to any app that you have that has data in, retrieve that data and provide answers. Now, of course, it's very useful for e-commerce and things like that, or even internal use for staff. If they need to ask questions about any kind of data they have in any platform, then they can also use chatbots in your own websites internally. Dropbox, that's a good question, Kim. I would imagine so. I can probably just have a look myself just now without putting you through opening it all up again and take a quick look. But I think Dropbox is well and truly integrated with Zapier. Yep. Okay. So yes, you can. So with Zapier, you can find files. You can do all kinds of things. Just about everything you can imagine. So yeah, no problem at all. You can connect to Dropbox too, which is another very useful place. Cool. So we've got loads of questions come in, so don't worry. Let's have a look here. I'm just going to answer a couple of questions. Let's keep this interesting. So Manal has asked a question, which I think I can put this out to the room, so everybody should be able to see this question now. I'd like to know if it's possible to resolve a simple function. Example, a customer gives you a distance X and the chat calculates Y equals X 2 plus 10. Yeah, because ultimately we can, believe it or not, leave the chatbot blank. So by blank, I mean like this. We're not going to give it any of its own information, and we can have it act like ChatGPT then. So ChatGPT can do any maths question, which means your chatbot can do any maths question. And we can ask all kinds of stuff, and we can tell it just here, hey, you are a maths wizard, and you should answer any maths questions that you get given in the chat. And it will be able to do that. So that's no problem at all. Demetrius has asked a great question. Let me just put this here as well. So if you delete the crawled links, the content is empty or it keeps it in its memory. So no, what happens is this. If we go to here, at the moment, the chatbot does not have anything in its memory, but we have crawled links, and here they are. Here are the crawled links. They're not in the memory at this point. But so if I just do this and delete them, then they won't be in the memory at all. Or I can add them for training, then they'll go into here, and we can also just delete them from here as well if we want. There you go, gone. And then we go to the links here, and maybe we don't want these anymore. So we can just select them and delete. And now the chatbot won't be able to answer any questions about that website because that's gone now. Yes, you've effectively wiped it from the chatbot's memory. Brilliant. Let me just remove that. So I want to, Liz, I will come to you in a moment for sure. I definitely think we can help out your government organization in Chile. Awesome. Yeah, so let's talk now a little bit about features that we've got coming up. Now, I've shown you obviously how the chatbot can deal with just about anything in terms of questions asked by users. But sometimes we get people say, oh, do you know what? I wish you had live chat as well, because just sometimes we want the chatbot to deal with most of it, but our business is very complicated. So I need to be able to, the chatbot to hand it over to a live agent. Well, the good news is that live chat is on its way. I had a meeting with my development team yesterday, and it is very, very nearly there. I just gave some feedback to improve it in terms of features, and we should be having it live, I hope, within 10 days. So not too long. Don't hold me to that. 10 days to 2 weeks, I'm going to say, actually. And then you're going to have the ability to tell that chatbot when to offer the chance to speak to a human. So there might be some buzzwords like it might, someone might say, talk to human, or can I speak to somebody, please? Or I want to speak to a live agent or something like that. And the chatbot will recognize that, notify you, get you on the live chat so you can join in. And then if you want to, you can even do your part, finish it, and then come out and let the chatbot carry on. So we've got some great features. You're also going to have control over what hours you want to be available, because you may not want to be doing live chat at all hours, and we wouldn't want to waste people's time. So you'll have full control over when you are available. And we can have multiple agents dealing with the live chats as well, not just one person. You're going to have a whole team of people be able to use the live chat at once. So it's a very powerful, decent live chat system. We're going AI first, live chat second, because AI chat is going to get better and better and better and better. Already, it's outstanding. We're sending at least 125,000 messages per day now with FastBots. So you can imagine how many problems the software is solving per day. If you've got a website right now, I guarantee you there's people going on your site at this moment in time who are leaving with their questions unanswered if you don't have a chatbot on there. It's kind of become the default. You need to have a chatbot on your website. It doesn't cost much. In our case, our plans are even free. So even if you've got a low traffic website, you can start using us. But if you get more people, then, visiting your site, wow. I mean, you're looking at, if you do it on a yearly basis, $24 a month. Now, how much, it depends on what your business is, or, how much is a lost customer costing you at the moment? Is it worth $24 to get a new customer, or potentially hundreds of new customers a month who might otherwise have left in frustration at the moment? That's if you buy it like annually, $290 a year, and you've got thousands of messages a month, tons and tons of data storage, and you can crawl websites up to 2,500 pages. You also get the Zapier AI actions I mentioned too, and all of the different languages. So that's where it starts at, really. And then you've got the free plan right there. So there's really no excuse to not just to add one to your site today, and start making the most of this new technology that everyone else is, without a doubt. So we've got some more questions now. Actually, just before we move on to those questions, I do want to say, if you have not got an account with us at the moment and you want to just jump on and try a month on any plan, then have a look at this page here. I'm going to put it in chat for you. Okay. And you can have a 50% off coupon code for any plan you want. So if you wanted to resell chatbots, for example, you could get our $350 a month plan and get yourself half off that for a whole month. So you're going to save like $175. So very, very good coupon codes. The best there are no other ones better than that out there. And you're welcome to try them and use them up. Now, I would love to move on to some questions at this point, because we've got quite a few of them and I really want to try and help answer as many of them as I can. Let's take a little look. Mohammed, yes, I will send a recording of this out to everybody who's come here today. I really appreciate you attending. So you will get a recording in case you were not sort of sure, or you missed anything, or you joined late. Don't worry, we've got you covered. Now, Q&A wise then, let's take a little look here. Do you have limits on the amount of indexed pages you can have on a bot? Good question, Sam. It's kind of complicated to answer, but okay. So no, you can have loads of links in there. You can only do what the plan allows. So let's go to the plan quickly. Here we go. So you can crawl pages up to 2,500 at a time. So if you wanted to crawl another website for 1,000 pages, you could. So you could have more than 2,500 pages. Probably shouldn't tell you this, but you can have more than 2,500 pages in your chatbot if you want to. So there's no limit on the number of links that you have, but there is a limit on the amount of data. But that does amount to, for example, even on our lowest plan, 2 million words of data, which is usually enough for a lot of people. And you can see how much data you've got here. It says naught there at the moment. If we take a big chat bot, let me take a look at this one. This one's for an entire government city. They've got 384,000 characters they've used. So that's a lot bigger. Great question, though. I love that. We've covered that one there. So yes, Liz, thank you very much for attending from Chile. So yeah, you work for a major office in Chile. You want to join the website, that's fine. Is there a section for government organizations? What I would say with that, Liz, is no, there isn't a dedicated section. But if you were to just join the site, and then you can email me directly if you would like to talk about any specific enterprise plan. If you need that, if it's a big, well-used website by the community, then you could be potentially using thousands of messages a month. But that's fine. We've done that for many other clients. Please do it. Email me at info@fastbots.ai, and I'll be very happy to give you some special attention with your chatbot there. Now, Gus, can the chatbot accept documents from clients? That is another brilliant question. So Gus, at the moment, as you can see there with the chat window down here, there's nowhere for people to be able to upload things to the chatbot, like your end user. However, that is our next feature. So we'll be adding that as soon as live chat is out. And we've already started doing some of the prep work for that. So yes, people are going to be able to upload documents to your chatbot, and your chatbot's going to be able to understand them and reply according to your instructions, even images as well. We'll be making the chatbot multimodal. They'll be able to upload audio, maybe video. We'll see about that. But more importantly, documents and images. Documents is the most important, then images, then video, then audio. But I wanted to also let you know about our roadmap, because this is where you guys can have some input. If there's something that you want, you are the most important people to us. You're the people who are using the software. So the way I see it is you're kind of our boss and we're your employees. Our job is to make the chatbot the best we can for you. And if you need a feature, and there's more than one of you that needs it, obviously, then we will go ahead and try and get it built. And you can see here, the #1 voted for feature was live chat. So we've gone to town and built a full live chat system, which I might tell you is actually like a dedicated software all by itself that takes a long time to build. Next up, we've also got voice input and output. So people will be able to press a button on that chatbot and speak, and the chatbot will just speak straight back to you and in any language you want. So that's going to be very powerful. That's a big feature. We've already kind of got booking calendar done because you can use Zapier and connect to any calendar system. Google Drive, same thing, really. That's actually really done because you can connect as we did. And then we're doing all kinds of different things here. In fact, we've done that one there already. So that is done. I'll be updating this. But if you want to go ahead and submit something, you'll see there's a button there that says want to submit something else. Click join now. It's free. Just put in your username, password, and then you put in your suggestion. We'll look at it, and then we'll add it to the roadmap like this. We'll put in review, then planned. And then if we plan it, then we'll start building it, and then it will be completed and it will go here. And you can see we're a very active platform that really does listen to our customers and tries to build what it is you want. That is very important to us. So thank you for that question. Now, you did just say there, Gus, as well, does it send out an email? You can do that with Zapier Actions. You can have the chatbot ask some questions. This is so powerful, by the way. You can have the chatbot ask questions about, something, your business or what their needs are, then go away and create a brilliant email with their name and everything, and give them a customized email. So that is, you think about how that could be used in your business. It is pretty awesome. All right, I'm moving up here. There we go. I don't like being down there. Questions. Let's go through these now. So that's a good one there, Gus. Can the chatbot, so will you send a recording? Yes, I will. Can you add a specific Facebook page for a business and it will only add information from that page? So Desiree, no, you can't really add a Facebook page to use for the chatbot's mind, its brain, its knowledge base to answer questions, but you can connect your chatbot to it so that if somebody messages your page, the chatbot can respond. That's how that would work. Next up, the question we've got now is from Gabriel. Can you have the chatbot read from an Excel sheet? Yes, you can. We've shown that. It's an Excel sheet is well, do you know what? Yeah, okay. So no, that is a more complicated question, actually. So that means that you want to link to a static thing. You can upload an Excel sheet in here. If we go to links like that, you can add an Excel sheet. You can also link to an Excel sheet just there. So you can do it those two things. But as regards, I'm not quite sure what you mean for calculations, but yes, you can get data from a spreadsheet without a doubt. Next thing, can we integrate an agent with WhatsApp Business so that the agent can handle the sales for us? Yes, you can, Zhao. Let me just broadcast this to room. Hopefully I've pronounced your name correctly there. Yeah, probably I didn't. Can we integrate an agent? So yeah, so when you integrate your chatbot, you can connect up to WhatsApp. That's fine. And now anything that you've already integrated with Zapier, and then you've put in your instructions to the chatbot, will now apply to WhatsApp too. So it will be able to look up orders. It will be able to respond. It's just doing it through WhatsApp instead of the chat window. So that's no problem. And another good question. We are getting a lot of great questions today. Manal said, here we go. Let's put that out to the room. If we change the website content, the bot should be retrained or it's updated automatically. It can be if you have auto retraining ability, which we do on some of our actual plans. It will be here. If you're looking for auto retrain, automatically revisits your selected web pages to check for changes. So that's on the business plan, which is awesome. You get 5 separate chatbots, even more data than the central plan, and some other really, really cool features. So that's how we can deal with that question. Done. Next up, Gabriel has asked another really good question here. Can you create workflows on a chatbot, making the bot ask a series of questions to a client, capturing the answers as leads, i.e. if a client is asking for a refund, can I ask for their ID, name, last date of payment? Yeah, you can. You can do that. And then that would be logged inside the chat history, and that would be automatically emailed through to you. Also, you could link it up using integrations and the AI actions, and maybe have that come through by email to you straight away, like, or write an email back to them, or any number of different things. So you can ask it to do all of that kind of stuff. It would be done here again. it would be in the instructions. This gets sent to the chatbot like via a side avenue, if you like, as well as the prompts that you put in the chat window when you type. So it always knows what it should be doing and in what order. In the old days, in the old chatbots, you used to have to do the flows, which is what Gabriel was talking about there, where you have, if the customer says refund, up it goes, you must say this. And then if they say, no, I don't want to send back the product, they have to say this. That work is done for you with AI now. AI is the brain here. It decides what to do based on your instructions, instead of having to draw out massive flows, which are boring and can go wrong. Because what do you do with a chatbot that has no brain and just a series of flows and the flow doesn't work? Then, it gets stuck. And then that's why people used to get annoyed with chatbots, because it didn't know what to do in certain circumstances. Cool. Is everybody still with me and enjoying this training? Let me know in chat. Just everybody's still here and getting something from this, guys. Let me know. I would love to know. Oh, Daryl, you mentioned how would you use FastBots for dental practice? Well, definitely I'd have it on the front end. No question of that. I'd have it on the front end of the website. Well, I think we are actually ranked top on Google, well, at least in the first page, for dentist chatbots. So that tells you, how we think about dental practices. But yeah, I mean, you would have one definitely on the front of your website that could help people with bookings and appointments, or just tell them about your services and your products and everything. But also you could introduce a client-only chatbot that you give them access to, that gives them loads of advice about teeth brushing and things like that, dental care. So say, for example, you were to do some fillings on a client, you would probably, in most cases, give them an advisory leaflet or something, what to do now when you go home. But also you can give them access to the chatbot, maybe just with a QR code, and they can just scan it with their phone and then just ask any questions they want about aftercare for after having some treatment. So there's a load of different ways you can use a chatbot as a dentist. No question about it. Oh, thank you very much for your kind comments, everybody, regarding the webinar. That's really cool. You will get a recording, everybody, so don't worry. You can go back over everything slowly, because I know I am kind of whipping through this stuff. We usually try and do about an hour with this live training, but we're going to be doing them quite regularly. So don't worry. If you've got any ideas for things you would like to learn with chatbots and how to use FastBots for certain purposes, by all means, email me, I'll put it in chat, info@fastbots.ai, and I'll happily do some live training using our most valuable people's idea. Let's scroll down here. Sam, let's have a little look. Not funny words to call them. Some files. Yeah. Sam has mentioned that he had an issue with a crawler not being able to find certain web pages. The best thing to do at that point is definitely use the fast crawler. Now, we are going to very soon, if we go to add links and then we put in a website, let's just put in this one. You can see here at the moment, we have two options. We have the fast crawler, which is the one I used in the demo when I built the website for the hairdressers. And then we have the browser crawler. Now, at the moment, you can select which one to use. Soon, you won't even have to do that, because we will know which one to use, because we'll go and have a little look at a website, and then we'll go, yep, this one's going to need this more intelligent crawling system to be able to get the data. But for the moment, if you come across a site and you're like, what? Is that all my pages? That's not all my pages. Well, it hasn't managed to go and get them. Then what you can do is just go back. You can stop the crawling or just delete it, and then go back and use the browser crawler. Now, the browser crawler is very clever, and as I say, very expensive. So you only really need to use it when you need to use it. If I just delete this now, you can see that it hasn't managed to go around that site. But if we use our browser crawler, that effectively simulates a human. So if it's getting blocked, it won't be after we use the browser crawler. So again, I'll go to this one. We use the browser crawler. It's a bit slower because it has to effectively, what we're doing is pretty crazy. We're loading up a computer and we're literally browsing the website with a remote control computer, all done with our tech. And then it's grabbing the content of the pages that way. So from the point of view of the website and its server, it's going, oh, we've got a real person here who's coming around our site and wants to learn about our business or whatever. And I mean, it's not like we're doing anything malicious at all. All we're trying to do is scrape our own website, for content. But some servers will kind of try and block us. And as I said, some sites are made with JavaScript. And that is a problem. But this system will wait till it loads and then go through and grab the content. So it's very, very intelligent, and it's about to get even more intelligent. So we should be able to deal with pretty much any website going. If you can't, then send through a support message. You can always access support, guys, from up here and then support. And if we go to support, you'll see that there's a chatbot right there that's trained on the platform. So you can ask questions to the bot. If you don't get an answer or it doesn't know, then no problem. Just put in your name, use your FastBots account email there, your chatbot name, because some people have like 10, 15 chatbots and we have to know which one it is. And then if you've got a chat that you've had that you weren't happy with the answer, you can put a link to it there and then you'll message there. And just send through the support request and our team will get back to you as quickly as possible, always within 24 hours, but usually a lot faster. And then we'll help you out. And if it's a site that you just can't seem to get indexed, we'll do it for you. So there's no problem there. David, you asked about Go High Level. You can first of all, you can install a chatbot onto Go High Level. That's for sure, onto a website created with Go High Level. And then also you probably with Zapier AI Actions, you can link into your Go High Level to check data and sales and things like that too. So that is going to be okay. Now, Narendra asked about white labeling. If any of you are interested in learning, having your own agency with FastBots so that you have your own full reseller account, you can white label the chatbots. Nobody knows they're from us. And you want to resell them because you can see, obviously, this business industry is growing like crazy. It's predicted to grow to, I think it was about $29 billion a year by 2029. Then you can join our agency program. Briefly, the agency program has not only the FastBots software, but a huge amount of support. We even give you a website with, like set up ready to sell the chatbots, which is pretty crazy. All of the brochures, everything is done. I mean, here's a demo actually, just very quickly, of the site that we give you. And you can customize this with your own brand. You can make it your own. All of the text is done. You can book a demo. It's months of work done for you. And all you've got to do is buy one reseller plan for 1 year, and we give you all of this stuff. But we'll do a separate webinar on the agency. But if you want to find out more about the program, actually, I would recommend, first of all, watching the webinar, which tells you everything you need. And I'll put that in chat right now for anybody who's interested in actually selling chatbots. So next, then, let's just quickly go through any more of these questions. I think we've got one more down here. Okay, so Jonathan has asked, I have a question. Having set my bot up to say hello after 5 seconds or so, I am here if you need help, but there is no close button, which on a mobile can take up quite a bit of screen. Now, actually there is. It does appear. What happens is on a mobile, you just go to the top right corner and just press it. Or in fact, I don't even think you need to do that. You just press the actual message and it will just disappear anyway. So it does work on mobile and it closes on mobile. So that's fine. It won't just block the way all of the time. Perhaps we'll also give you an option just here to switch off the pop-up message. We'll just have a little option just here, and we'll say, display on mobile, yes or no. We could do that for you. That is no problem, because I think that would be great. Okay, guys, has anybody else got anything for me before we wrap things up? Don't forget, if you have not got the account yet, go ahead and try it out. I mean, use these coupon codes here that will give you half off for your first month. Then you can go crazy experimenting and burning through messages, and try it out and make it useful for your business. And yes, Yakov, we do support Hebrew. It depends on the site, like why you got an invalid URL error. There would have been, quite often we get sites that are in multiple languages and there's different versions of the site, and that can confuse the chatbot. However, as I said, just go to support. They'll get your site. They'll get it in one way or the other. But I want to thank absolutely everybody for coming here today. I really appreciate it. It's been great fun, actually. Those of you that are here now, David, Regina, Megan, Demetrius, Brad, William, Bill, Emmy, Peter, Todd, Mark. There's just loads of you guys. So thank you very much, Neil. And yeah, we'll do another live training webinar very soon. Thank you for being a FastBots user, whether that's free or you're one of our full featured paid plans. We really appreciate you. And have a wonderful rest of your day wherever you are in the world. Thanks very much.